The days were quiet and the nights were turning wild. Leyla and Kerem started to think about how they would survive without being affected by this abnormal transformation in their village. Under the moonlight reflected in their eyes at night, the village people became unrecognizable and turned into half-human, half-wolf beings. Every morning, they waited for the sunrise to relieve the tiredness of these dark hours. They couldn't find a solution. When they came together with the village people, a decision was made as a community. Nocturnal transformations would no longer be a frightening disaster, but would be accepted as a part of their existence. Maybe this is a power that we have inherited from our ancestors and have forgotten, Kerem said seriously. It is in our nature to be night hunters. Perhaps we can use this power for protection and hunting. Leyla expressed her feelings to the crowd gathered in the village square as follows. Living as a human during the day and a wolf at night opens the doors of both worlds to us. In this cycle of nature, curiosity and acceptance should replace fear. As they began to adapt to this new way of life, Leyla and Kerem, together with other residents of the village, began to improve their night hunting techniques. While they cultivated the fields during the day, educated their children, and strengthened their ties within the community, at night they would come together and go hunting deep into the surrounding forest. Over time, visitors from outside the village began to marvel at how peaceful and friendly the residents of this special village were by day, and how agile and strong they were by night. Stories and legends began to tell that the creatures wandering around the village were actually protectors. This new way of life shaped the village's identity and culture, building bridges between traditions and teaching its children how to live as both humans and wolves. While Leyla and Kerem learned to cope with this transformation, they, together with the village people, redefined the boundaries between humans and nature. Their story became an epic about overcoming fear, adaptation, and the power of living together. With this change, the village led by Leyla and Kerem became both a mysterious and attractive place to the outside world. This unique balance between day and night strengthened them not only physically, but also spiritually over time. And this story became a source of inspiration in other villages in distant lands, helping people learn to live in peace with the wild nature within themselves. As the village slowly grew stronger, it became known as the Wolf Village. The name meant much more than the villagers' ability to turn into wolves at night. It was integrated with the courage, pursuit of justice, and protective spirit of the village's inhabitants. Over time, Wolf Village began to be seen as a source of hope among the people in the surrounding regions. As time passed, the surrounding kingdoms became known for cruelty and injustice. In one of these kingdoms, the people were fed up with their ruler's oppressive rule. The ruler increased taxes excessively and confiscated the people's food and water resources. Moreover, he did not hesitate to imprison ordinary people who did not dare to oppose anyone if they made the slightest objection. In these difficult times, the oppressed people sent envoys to Wolf Village. The ambassadors reached the village silently in the dark of the night and met with Leyla and Kerem in the village square. They explained the situation and asked for help from the villagers. Leyla turned to Kerem and said, "It's time to put an end to this injustice." The residents of Wolf Village knew that standing up to injustice was part of their nature. A plan was quickly hatched, and at midnight, the village's strongest wolves set out for the persecuted kingdom. Moving silently and nimbly under the protection of the night, they reached the center of the kingdom. The residents of Wolf Village knew that standing up to injustice was part of their nature. A plan was quickly hatched, and at midnight, the village's strongest wolves set out for the persecuted kingdom. Moving silently and nimbly under the protection of the night, they reached the center of the kingdom. As the news spread from village to village and kingdom to kingdom, Wolf Village's fame grew. Wolf Village became known as the shelter of the oppressed and the hope of those who suffered injustice. Over the years, the village's inhabitants, in both human and wolf form, continued their mission to spread justice, equality, and peace. The legend of Wolf Village became legendary even in distant lands, and over time, it became one of the most powerful and respected settlements in the region. In this way, the inhabitants of the village transformed not only themselves, but also the world around them, with the power within themselves. As Wolf Village's reputation grew, their spirit of justice and protection spread throughout the wider region. Other kingdoms and villages also began to seek help and guidance from the Wolf Village against threats from both inside and outside. Kerem was now the king and Leyla was the queen. Their responsibilities were heavy and they had a baby. But even though turning into a wolf at night scared them from the beginning, it caused them to have a warrior fighting spirit, and by using this power correctly, they had a kingdom they could never have imagined. In these expanded roles, the Wolf Kingdom was seen as a source of wisdom and strength that guided through difficult times. Their sense of justice helped overthrow tyrannical kingdoms and establish more just governments. Leyla and Kerem collaborated with leaders of other communities to establish a regional council. This council met regularly to discuss the problems facing the region and seek solutions. Over the years, the residents of Wolf Village have innovated in everything from agriculture to defense, from education to healthcare, using their unique abilities to live as both humans and wolves. These innovations enabled the village to meet its own needs as well as support neighboring communities. However, the challenges and external threats brought by growth had also increased. A nearby kingdom became disturbed by the rising power of the Wolf Village and began to threaten the village. This kingdom coveted the village's lands and was jealous of the Wolf Village's growing power. The kingdom gathered a large army to capture the village. There was a major conflict between the kingdom army and the Wolf Village. The battle was both fierce and long, but the inhabitants of Wolf Village emerged victorious thanks to their courage and unity to defend their land and values. This victory consolidated not only the physical strength of the Wolf Village, but also its spiritual and moral strength. After the victory, Leyla and Kerem continued their work to ensure lasting peace and prosperity by establishing closer cooperation with other communities in the region. Wolf Village was no longer just a village, but a castle where those seeking justice and protection took refuge. In this way, the legend of Wolf Village has lived on beyond time. Hello, dear listeners. On our channel, we present in-depth, thought-provoking stories that will take you to different worlds. Today, I told you the story of Wolf Village. I shared how a village, a symbol of justice, courage, and transformation, came together in the face of difficulties and survived, despite all the difficulties. This story is much more than just a narrative to us. In each episode, we aim to dive into the depths of the human soul, find the light within us while facing the darkness, and most importantly, discover how we can be stronger in unity and solidarity. Here, each story is designed as a step to make you think, inspire you, and maybe make the world a slightly better place. By subscribing to my channel, you can be a part of this journey. With each new video, you will become part of not just a story, but also a community. As we explore different worlds together, let's remember that we have the power to create change in our own world. Guide our stories with your comments, share your thoughts, and join us on this adventure. Each of your voices enriches this community. Remember, on this channel, Each story is carefully selected for you, and each word is used to feed your imagination. Believe in the power of our stories because they are a reflection of our humanity, courage, and hope. Enjoy watching and see you in our next story.